but that just wouldn't be me, so I'm not going to lie and tell you it's delicious and can it all up and go through the motions. That's not me. Hi friends, welcome to Bucket List Homestead. If you are new here, my name is Lynn, and today is day 29 of the Every Bit Counts challenge. And it's been a challenge. I find that I'm winding down a little bit. I'm tired, and it affected me last night. I'm trying to get through the rest of those pears. I never want to see pears again. I'm really tired of pears. Anyway, I managed to can up all of these last night when I started not feeling so good, and I happened to look down and my feet and ankles were probably 3 times the size they should be. I haven't had that happen since I was pregnant and no, I'm not pregnant. It's impossible. Yeah, it wasn't good. And I was getting a headache. And I do suffer from high blood pressure. On my medication, my blood pressure was perfect. We checked it and it was perfect. Top number was a bit low, but other than that, so David made me rest for the rest of the night. And I had a hard time probably the first hour, and then after that, it felt good to rest. So I didn't get through all of them last night. I got through a lot, but this morning, I've been up and at it already. It's 10 o'clock and I've been at this like 3 hours already. I'm exhausted already and it's only 10 and I've got a lot to do today. But I'll show you what I've been doing. So I peeled, I'm going to say it's been about 40 pears. And Grace graciously said, Mom, why don't you make some pear sauce? So this took up 40, and I probably could get a few more in there, but I don't want to peel any more pears right now. I really don't. I am tired of peeling pears and taking out so these have obviously been washed, peeled, cores taken out, and I just left them in bigger chunks. I'm not worried about it because honestly, I don't plan to can this till tomorrow. There's also a 1/4 cup of water and maybe 2 tablespoons. I didn't really measure. I kind of just squeezed it in there of lemon juice. So I'm just going to get this on low, and then we're going to get to what we're making today that I'm going to can. I'm going to get my canner starting to go. All right, there. We don't have to worry about those pears today. My goal is I really hope to get the rest of them done. If I have to wait till later this evening, excuse me, I have the hiccups, I think. If I have to wait till later this evening to get some help, I will. Because we have, well, let's go see how many we got left. What do we got left for pears? We got still a few. So that's what I've got left. So I'm getting through them. But I think we'll get some help later. So anyway, I'm not going to think about pears anymore right now. What I am going to think about is salsa. I am all out completely. I thought I had even 1 or 2 jars left. I don't. And tonight is Taco Tuesday for us. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to make some salsa anyway for supper. Why don't I just make up a big batch of it and can it? Now, I'm going to be honest, these tomatoes aren't from my garden. Mine are nowhere. I don't have enough anywhere near ready for what I need to make. We went down to our favorite U-Pick farm, Brambleberry. Oh, they're such good people, nice people. And I got all these tomatoes for $4 and this gorgeous purple onion for $2. I paid with the $5 and I got back change. So I think all this cost me $4.25. That's what it was. All these tomatoes plus this onion. And they don't spray there and things, so which is why some of them are going to look a little rough, but I don't mind. Like, I'd rather have a little rough looking tomato than a poison tomato. So we are going to use these today. I do have a few of my own peppers that I am going to use. They're not very big, but I do have them. And obviously, if I need more, I still have the giant monster peppers that I bought last weekend. And I am going to use this onion just because like my purple onions are not big enough. And this should be exactly what I need to make all this. Now, my salsa is kind of pico de gallo meat salsa. I love pico de gallo. And that's basically what I'm going to be making. I am going to try a small batch, add some chili pepper to this and see what I think. I'm kind of the only one who eats it. I'm the only one who eats salsa. David's not a huge fan of it, probably because of the onion. But he'll eat it if I use it in a recipe, he'll eat it, mainly because he probably doesn't even know what's in there. But he'll eat it that way. But like I eat it with chips. I eat it on top of my tacos, on top of loaded nachos, on stir fries, you name it. I love it. So basically I'm kind of making a pico de gallo, but this is all my recipe. So I'm going to get these tomatoes washed up, wash up my peppers, probably go dig out another pepper for probably another yellow one because we got a lot of red with the tomatoes. And I am going to use my handy dandy chopper for this. I probably won't. You don't want to see me chopping. It's boring. And you've already seen me use this. I will say I checked. This is still on sale at Amazon, so I will link it down below. I have gone through quite a few of these, and this is my favorite. I absolutely love it. And it's on with a $5 off coupon, so I think it's around 20-something dollars, so that's a good price for this. And it does have multiple blades that you can use. This seems to be the one I use the most. And it has one where that's just for soft things, for like if you want to chop up egg, hard-boiled egg, that works great. So this makes it so much easier. And after those pears, I need something easy. So we are going to wash the tomatoes, wash the peppers. I'm going to dig out my cilantro, get my chili pepper, get some of my garlic dug out, and I'll meet you back here and we will make this. And I'm going to taste it with the chili powder today with some chips and see what we think. And if I like it that way, then we're going to have more, make all of it maybe that way. I don't know. I also need to get my lime juice out because this has lime juice too. The tomatoes are washed. I have got to get the skins off them, so I'm boiling some water. And paying only $2 for each, I don't even know how many. It was bigger than a quart, but I paid $4 for all of these tomatoes. And it makes me mad that I grew more tomatoes this year because I promised myself if I need tomatoes, I will just source them next year. And of course, I went and bought seed that was on sale, so I felt like I had to grow them. And they take up so much space in my raised beds. I have 2 raised beds out there that are just full of tomato plants. And I could have grown a lot more beans. I could have grown another thing of carrots. I plan on growing more garlic, so I'm going to need that bed, one of those beds for next year. I'm going to need 2 beds for next year for garlic. There's just so many other things I could have grown. More squash if we. So I say all this to you to let you know you don't have to grow everything. For the longest time, I have been guilty of it. I still struggle with it. But we need to stop being self-sufficient and worry about being community sufficient. If there is a source where you can get some things, especially for a good price, it's okay if you want to buy them and not grow them. It is okay. I know who's growing these. I know that they're not spraying them with anything, so I feel safe buying my tomatoes from them. That said, I still will be picking my tomatoes. I'm not going to let them go to waste. But I am saying here and now, I am not growing tomatoes next year unless I just decide to grow 1 or 2 cherry tomatoes in pots, which I didn't even grow any of those this year, and that I wish I had grown. So yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's still cheaper. It's still healthier to can these things than what you're going to be getting in the winter from greenhouses or whatnot. So yeah, it's okay if you don't grow everything that you are canning. That's all I wanted to say. And I just want to be honest with you. I bought them. They're not from my garden. Mine aren't quite ready enough yet. And I want to use the majority of my tomatoes for tomato soup. We loved that tomato soup that I canned at the beginning of the challenge, and I definitely can see us eating a lot more of that in the winter. We love soup here. So I would rather use my tomatoes and make a whole bunch of tomato soup. Use these, by the way, these are gorgeous tomatoes. I'm just cutting up a couple to try my taste testing with the chili pepper. I'm just gonna make a little small amount. I mean, look at them. Beautiful. So I think I said yesterday that I always have to take the skins off because they bother David and I. That's only canned tomatoes. I don't know why, but I can go ahead and eat a fresh tomato skin and it doesn't bother me. So the only thing I can think of is it's the canning process that does something to the tomatoes, or maybe I don't eat a lot of fresh tomatoes. I don't. So it's okay, you know, maybe it's okay that doesn't bother me. I don't know. I do know in sauces and things, if I leave the tomatoes on, it hurts. So, okay, I've cut up 3 tomatoes. That's plenty enough for me to get this going because I like it to sit for a few, you know, a little bit with the lemon juice. So, I am cutting it with a knife. I plan on doing the rest with my chopper. Okay, so I've got three tomatoes in here. I'm going to add one of my peppers and everything else. Quite, probably a 1/4 cup, I'd say. Mix that around. All right, and here's the chili powder. We're gonna try about a teaspoon. I'm gonna mix that up. It smells amazing. So this, I'm gonna add 1 more tomato just because I think there's a bit of too much lime juice in here. You know what? No, I'm going to leave it. Okay, so we're going to leave that to sit and we'll taste test it in a few minutes. So I'm going to set that aside. The water's boiling, so we're going to get the tomatoes peeling. I'm just putting some cold water in my sink here so I can just have somewhere, the sink's clean, just so I can have somewhere to dump the tomatoes. Okay. I will say, getting the peelings off when they're frozen is much easier. Okay, we are gonna try this pico de gallo I made and see if I think it will make a good salsa. So, I've just been thinking a lot. I think I'm gonna change what I was gonna do. I am gonna add some vinegar to this to help make it more acidic for canning. But yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, but let's try this. I don't know if that's very good. We gotta try another piece. I did realize I forgot salt. Oh my goodness. It's so simple. I think that's one of the reasons I love Mexican food, because it is simple. If you just use really fresh, good ingredients, it doesn't have to be complicated. All right, let's get a tomato on there. Let's try again just to make sure it's good. That, honestly, is one of the best things I have ate in a while. Wow. Oh, that's so yummy. Okay. So, because I don't like jalapenos, I don't grow them. We do not like really spicy things. We just don't. David and I, the kids, we're not into that. I don't like sweating when I'm eating things. And a lot of things, since I feel like I bring this up a lot, but it's true. Since I went through cancer so many times and had chemo and different things, certain things hurt me to eat. So hot things are one of them. But the chili powder doesn't bother me, and I like the little bit of heat, but it's nothing. Oh, this is going to be my lunch. Actually, no, I'll put this away for supper tonight to go with our tacos. We're going to have steak tacos tonight, but OMG, that is so good. That is so good. Okay, I'm going to clean up a little bit. I have to get my pot ready because we're going to have to cook this, and I'm going to get all the cores and everything out of my tomatoes. I got to cut up some peppers. Okay, I got a lot to do. I'll meet you over at the stove. Okay, so I have changed my mind on the salsa 5 or 6 times since I paused the camera. So this is a recipe from 4 or 5 recipes, a couple from my canning books, a couple from online, and just in my head. So if you want to make like salsa that you can and you've never done it before, please follow like an approved recipe. I've done this before. Well, last year I made a totally different one. It was amazing. But I feel comfortable changing the recipe a little bit. Yeah, the main thing is making sure the acidity is right. So I have a cup of white wine vinegar in here just because I like the flavor. And I have a half a cup of lime juice. I'm going to add, right now, and I have 1 giant yellow bell pepper. Man, I cannot talk today. I'm definitely tired. 1 giant yellow bell pepper and 3 small bell peppers from my garden. The rest of that purple onion, so 3/4 of that large purple onion. And the tomatoes, all the tomatoes, which I did start chopping up, and then I just roughly chopped them with my knife because I realized I'm probably going to take the blender of this anyway, so it doesn't matter. So now I'm going to add my chili powder and my salt. So I'm just going to add a little bit of chili pepper for now, maybe 2 teaspoons, and a big pinch of salt, maybe 2. And then I'll taste it, and if it needs more chili pepper, I will add it. So the one thing I'm not going to add is the cilantro, because cilantro does not can well. What I am going to do, though, is preserve all that cilantro I bought, freeze it, and when I do go to serve the salsa, I'll take out one of my frozen cubes of cilantro, dehydrate it, and add it to it. So we're going to let this cook for like 15 minutes. So there are a couple of ways you can freeze cilantro. You can freeze them like this in a Ziploc bag. This is how I like to freeze them. These are some I froze back in July. This is cilantro from my garden. I only managed to get a little bit before the heat. It got too hot and it didn't do well. I did plant some for fall, so we'll see how we're going. But I did buy this yesterday. So this is how I froze it. And I'm gonna I just put them in this, and once they're frozen solid, I pop them out. And I just put them in here, and you can use olive oil or water. I use just a little bit of water. I didn't want to use olive oil because I don't always know how I'm going to use it, and I'm not a fan of the olive oil on my salsa or anything else I might use this for. So obviously I have my food processor out because why not dirty another dish, Lynn? But we are going to get this all pureed. I have enough that I need for tonight for supper, so I'm just going to leave that. Okay. Tell me, do you like cilantro? I know a lot of people don't. Some people have the gene where cilantro tastes like soap. I don't, thank goodness. But my husband does. He always says, why does it taste like soap? What tastes like soap? And I realize it's the cilantro. So I'm just going to get a little bit of water. So I have like a half a pint jar, and I'm not going to use all of it right away. We'll see how it does. I use as little water as possible. It smells amazing. And look at that color. And as you can see, it retains its color. I mean, that's been in there for over a month now. Spreading it into the squares here. Got another stem that didn't blend up. And I try and pack it down in there as hard as I can. Oh, it smells so good. smells like summer. I'll leave them for a good 24 hours and I'll pop them out and vacuum seal them again. And there. This has been cooking for a good 15 minutes. I've taken it off the stove to blitz it. A little bit safer. Taste this and see what it needs. I'll tell you, it smells very strong of vinegar. So I'm kind of worried that 1 cup was too much, but we're going to try it. Needs more chili powder and more salt. Definitely doesn't need any more vinegar. It's a little strong in vinegar, actually. Okay, I gotta fix this. Okay, so I'm gonna drizzle in a big teaspoon of honey to help cut through that vinegar. I would have done 3/4 cup. I think a cup was too much, but there was just a cup left in my bottle, so part of me was like, well, we might as well use all of it, but I kind of wish I hadn't. So I'm gonna add that to cut through, and I'm gonna add a little more salt, just a little bit more, and another big heaping of chili powder. Okay, we're gonna let this cook for a few more minutes and see if I need to add more honey or not. Oh, it's not always a success. I could lie to you, can this up, go through all the motions, say it's delicious, but it's not. It's terrible. But that just wouldn't be me, so I'm not going to lie and tell you it's delicious and can it all up and go through the motions. That's not me. I added the rest of my chili pepper, some cumin, some more salt, another tablespoon of honey. I didn't want to add any more honey, so then I went to my organic cane sugar. At this point, I'm just doing a Hail Mary, trying to save it. I went through my tomatoes that I have that were ripe enough, added them. Nope. I still can taste the vinegar. That's all you can taste. I can't taste tomato. I can't taste chili pepper. I can taste the cumin a little bit. I can't taste the bell peppers, the onion even. I can't even taste that onion. Like, all I taste is vinegar. I should have only done half a cup. Half a cup. And what I should have done is just what I did last year when I made my salsa, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to beat myself up a little bit for today because I hate wasting food, and that was wasting 1 giant bell pepper, 3 from my garden, and those beautiful tomatoes I bought. And yeah, I'm going to go back down. I'm going to buy some more tomatoes, and tomorrow we are going to try the salsa the way I want, not the way that I was worried that it would look. If I did it the way I did it last year or whatever, I'm going to do it the way I did last year. It worked out great. It was delicious. And it's not always a success, but we do have pears going in the crock pot for pear sauce. I did get all that cilantro froze, and I made pico de gallo for supper tonight. So I guess that can count as every bit counts challenge. I'm going to take the rest of the day off, beat myself up a little bit, and then get back at it tomorrow. So we'll see you back here tomorrow for day 30.